Hello everyone. Can everybody see me and hear me clearly? My name is Peggy and I will be starting the webinar soon. Just let me check if everybody's joined us yet. Can everybody see my screen? And is my voice clear enough for everyone? Okay. So, hi, my name is Peggy, and I'm from the Quire team. I'm the customer success manager at Quire. So, thank you for joining us for today's webinar. And before I go straight ahead to our topic for today, just a quick things that I want to everyone to keep in mind. Okay. Okay, so I will keep everyone on mute for the whole webinar, and I will be recording the whole session. So I can share this with everybody after this webinar ends. So I will start recording right now. Okay, let me check if it's recorded correctly. Okay, start recording. And so I will start right now. Let us know if you're a solo flyer or collaborating with your team members for your project in Quire. This information actually will help us to know better and tailor our next topics for the future webinar. So I am currently in Taipei, Taiwan. Let us know in the chat where you are joining us from. Okay. So here are some tips on how to navigate Teams, the interface when I go into the webinar. So if you have any questions during the webinar, let us know in the chat. And if you're on the browser, you can see the chat at the upper menu bar. And if you're using the phone, you can look for the three dots more option button for the chat. And I also have my team member, Vicky. She's here with me right now, and she will be online and helping me answer all the questions during the webinar. And of course, I will save around 5 to 10 minutes at the end to answer all the questions that you might have. Okay, so for today's webinar, I will be discussing and sharing the newest features that we have in Quire, and I will also share some real-life examples of how our marketing team uses Quire to manage our ongoing projects. Okay, let me omit everybody just now. Okay. And here right now is the agenda for today. So first off, I will give a quick introduction for those who are new to Quire, who just signed up for a Quire account. I will cover the very basics and show you how Quire can be your go-to productivity tool for your work and for your personal tasks. And then I will go straight ahead into our main event, which is our latest feature releases from the past few months. And I have organized these new features updates based on their views. So it will make it more easier for you to follow along with me. And at the same time, again, I will share some examples of how Quire is being used by our team, our marketing team, to manage our projects and our tasks. And then finally, I will have save some time for our Q&A at the very end. So if you have any questions, just let us know in the chat during the webinar, and I will answer them at the end. Okay, so here's some key features that Quire brings to the table. This part is more for the new people who have just signed up for a Quire account. So at the very start, we started with our nested task list. So you can add endless levels of tasks and subtasks to your project. It will provide more details and context, which is especially useful if you have very large and complex projects. And later on, we found that one list is not enough for a very big and complex and massive project. So we came up with our sublist concept. So basically, you can select the most crucial and important task and concentrate on those tasks for that time being using the sublist. And later on, what's more, we have for the same project that you have in Quire, apart from the main list view that I have just mentioned, you can also switch to the board view. This view will give you like you can help you see the work in progress more visually. And then with the same project, again, you can mix things up by switching to our table view, where you can like display all the custom fields you have added to your project. So you can work your project in Quire like you're working in a spreadsheet, basically. And then you can switch the same project view into your timeline and to our calendar view. So which can help you like keep track of the task deadlines and never miss a schedule. Okay. And lastly, we have our native time tracker that this feature is incorporated into Quire. So you won't need to like actually switch to another app to just manage the time spent on each task. So these are basically the main views that we provide and we have for your project inside Quire. Okay. And so for the first view that I will be focusing on is our sublist, and I will go ahead to our what is sublist. So for those who are new and who have just joined Quire, let me like first explain what a sublist is. So basically, a sublist is a small tab that you can see on screen that you can you can add to your project. So basically, you can pick out the most important and crucial tasks that you are working on for that time being, and then add them to the personalized sublist that you have just created. So this feature can actually help you and your team to narrow down the massive and big task list that you have, and then focus on what needs to be done at that very moment. So basically, for our marketing team, we typically use sublists for different topics or for different categories in our project. So for example, you can see that we have grouped all our tasks related to our website, for example, into one list, one sublist. So now for the project, this will like become more targeted and it is more easier for us to focus on the tasks that need to be done for that time being. And of course, you can use sublists for other purposes, such as important milestones for your project or for a certain period of time. So it depends on how you want to create the sublist and for what purpose. So what's more is that you can you can choose to share how the sublist is shared with all the project members, or if you want to like keep it personal for yourself. So what I have mentioned in the last slide covers everything you can already do with a sublist. But what is new with our sublist is that now you can actually set a preconditioned filter to the sublist and have it update the task on its own. So this was actually a highly requested feature by our users. So before, you had to manually add the tasks to each sublist that you create every time, and which can take up a lot of time to do that and to maintain the project that you have. So with this new feature right now, you can set a filter and the sublist will update itself automatically. So this gives you more flexibility and saves you time to actually work on the tasks that you have in your project. So for example, you can see that I can set my sublist to automatically include all active tasks with urgent priority and with a certain tag. So this is shown on the screen right now. Actually, you can see that I have used the filter to set a precondition filter to the sublist. So this way, if another team member adds a new task that fits the criteria, it will show up in the sublist automatically. And I won't have to go through the main task list and add them to my sublist by myself. So another great and straightforward example to use this feature is to create a new sublist and set the preconditioned filter to today. So for example, if every day when you come into the office, you can just open up Quire project and check that sublist every day, and you will see all the to-dos for that day automatically. And you won't get distracted by anything else. So another example, another feature that we have added to our sublist is now that you can add sublists to your smart folders and your My Task view. So if you have been using Quire before and using the sublist feature since we have released it, you know that they could be added to your project, and you couldn't create the sublist to anywhere else, but now you can. You can add them to the smart folders and to your My Tasks. And so for those unfamiliar with the smart folders, this feature actually allow you to gather different projects from different organizations into one place. So it will give you like a bird eye view of everything happening at the same time. So with that being said, it can be actually very overwhelming having all the tasks from different projects that you have into one place. And now with the sublist available in this view, you can switch to different sublist tabs for different purposes. So making it easier to quickly find and focus on the tasks that matter. And with the My Tasks view, it works the same way. So My Tasks view, if you're using Quire, you will know that it is where everything important to you is gathered. With the task from different projects assigned to you will appear in that view every time. So it can get pretty overwhelming. You can use the sublist feature now available to set a preconditioned filter and let the task organize by themselves. Okay. And now with another feature that is related to our sublist is that you can add more uh, details to without clicking into the sublist. So basically, in the past, if you want to check what this sublist is about, you have to click into that sublist every time to see what the tasks are inside. But now you can actually add descriptions and add dates, start dates and due dates to that sublist. So when you hover over the tab, you can actually see the information. So this is helpful if you have a lot of sublists added to your project. You won't need to go into every sublist to check what are the details. So another update that we have our sublist is that if you're like working with outsourced team a lot or working with your clients, sometimes you may want to like keep certain information inside your project hidden from those clients or only share a certain part of your task list with them. So now you can actually do that by creating a link and then give the third party members or your clients a read-only access to that specific sublist. So how you can do that is actually just click on the drop-down menu next to the project name and then click share. And then you will see this dialog. You can then choose the sublist you want to share and then set an expiration date to that link and then share the link with your clients. So with this link, they can only access the tasks that are in that specific sublist, and they will not see the entire project for your entire task list for your project. So this is actually a very great way to control access to your tasks with like third-party members and with your clients. So how Quire team, marketing team is using Quire is actually for our day-to-day operation, we actually manage our ongoing tasks by created a sublist a project for our tasks. So for each team in our company, we have our own project in Quire, and for marketing team, we will actually put all the marketing team related tasks into one place. So this will include like on the screen, you can see that includes like website redesigns or like social media posts and all that stuff. And then we will start to add assignees and due dates and tags. So this can help our team member to focus on what they need to do. And then we have we can add more details to the tasks and have discussions held in the comment area for each task. So you can see that when times go by, it can get pretty chaotic over time. So this is when sublists will come in handy. We will use sublists to reorganize our stuff, and so different members can focus on their sublist by themselves. Okay, so that wraps up all the updates for our sublist feature. If you have any questions for now, you can let us know in the comment in the chat, and Vicky here will help me to answer them, or I can answer them at the end for you. Okay. If there are no further questions, I will go ahead to our next view, which is our calendar update. Okay, so now in our calendar view, we actually added a handy little drawer tab at the bottom. This makes it easier to see all the unscheduled tasks. So previously, you cannot see the tasks view, task list inside the calendar view. When we added this drawer tab, now you can see the task listed at the left-hand side, allowing you to like drag and drop the tasks that doesn't have a due date into your calendar directly. So when you open up this list on the left, you can also use the filter bar at the top to narrow down what you want to see. So for example, our team manager they like to use the filter bar to narrow down the tasks and only show those assigned to a certain team member, and then they will like schedule the task directly inside the calendar view right now. So with our marketing team, every week we will gather and for a meeting to sync up. And we use this calendar view to like during the meeting so we can see all the upcoming schedule at one glance. So after the weekly meeting, our team manager will actually list out all the to-dos or anything that we have discussed in the Quire project. So for the next meeting, we will then open up this calendar view and then use it to adjust or reschedule based on the team's member progress. And another frequent way that we use this Quire calendar view is for our social media planning. We usually use the list view to like break down and to jot down all the ideas that we have. And then when it's time to like plan, we use the calendar view to track the posts for our different social media platforms. And moving on to our next topic, which is our task dependency feature. Um, Basically, you can see all the tasks in the timeline to help the team get a clear picture for the entire project for the time frame. However, it doesn't show the how each task is related. So when they're displayed on the task tree view. But now you can actually connect two tasks together to like outline the order in which they should be completed. So now you can see that when you hover over the tasks on the timeline view, a connector will actually appear, and you can use that to drag it to another task to link them together. And I want to mention that in Quire right now, we currently only support FS dependency, which is the finish to start dependency. This means that one task must be completed before the next one start. So if you see a red arrow on your timeline when connecting like two tasks together, it means that the dates are conflicting and you need to like adjust the schedule accordingly. So for our Quire team, we usually use the timeline view during our monthly meeting. We usually change the same project that we have for our marketing project into the timeline view and show it to our entire team. So this way, everybody will get a bird's eye view of the overall project, overall time frame that we have for the team. And it can help us to like schedule accordingly and allow our team to rearrange our project timeline. Okay. So for another quick update is for our table view and our custom fields. So in the past, before, you can only see the custom fields that you have created in the table view and in the detail panel. But now we made a little enhancement to our custom fields, which actually can be displayed in our board view right now. So with this latest update, you can see that when you go over to the board view, you can actually toggle on the custom fields that you have added. And we know that a lot of our users actually rely on our board view to visually track their project's progress, but it lacked the convenience of seeing the context that they have added to with the custom fields. So now you can click on the board icon again to toggle on the custom fields, and then it will save you the hassle to open up the detail panel and seeing the custom fields. So this in the screen right now, you can see that when you click on the board icon again, you can toggle on the custom fields that you have created. And it will turn out that like this. You can see the custom fields have been displayed on the board view. So for the project, we have also made a little enhancement, which is now you can add a start date and a due date to the project. So this can help you and your team members to like better monitor your project milestone and schedule your plans. So how you can access this feature is by going into the project overview tab. You can find it next to the list tab at the top. So again, with Quire Team, I want to emphasize that the Quire flexibility once again. For those who are new to Quire, the default view is actually the task list view, but you can change it based on what you are what you are working on right for that moment. And so for one of our like most favorite views is our table view, and this will help us like display more customized details in the main panel comparing to the task list view. So for example, on the screen right now, we added custom fields to categorize the tasks and to help us like track the performance metrics that we have for our social media plans in our marketing team. Okay, so for all, that will be all the feature updates that I will be sharing for today. So if you have any questions, you can let us know in the chat right now, and I will go over the chat right now to see if there are any questions that need my answer. Okay, so I see one question is that I'll read it out loud right now. I want to add team members at the project level and have them inherit any task added under it. Okay, so in Quire, when you want to, so basically when you assign the tasks to the parent task, or it will not get inherited, the subtask will not get the assignee will now like be added to the subtask as well. So you need to add the sub assignee to the parent task and to the subtask on their own by themselves. When you add the members to the project, you later on need to add the assignees to the tasks on your own. I hope that answer the question that you have. So I see another question is, can you show us how to set up a simple project? Okay, I will share. Let me share my screen. I will pull up my project in Quire. So I believe right now my project is showed. So basically how I set up a new project inside Quire is by going to the plus icon right here and then add a project. And then, for example, I will name it new, for example, and then I will like choose the designated organization for the new project and then add create. So give us some time and it will give us a new project. And for the new project, there won't be any tasks added inside. You will need to like start by typing in the task name on your own. And then, like I said, you can add more details by going into the detail panel and add assignees, add dates, and whatever details that you might need inside the tasks. And what I was mentioning earlier about the sublist, this is where you can find it. It's right next to the tabs right here. And for this, you can actually select the tasks that you have for the project and then add them to the sublist that you will be creating. This is how you can like create a new project, how you can set it up. But for some members or for some users, when you already have like a project that is previously created, you can actually use that project as a template. So for sometimes for example, this project is being used a lot. You can actually go ahead and create a new one and then choose, let me name it again, and then choose the previous created project as the template. So let me find the let me just find a random project as an example. Let me see. Okay, for example, agile, and then I will add it as create. So this will be very convenient if you have a lot of like similar setup for if you have a new project. So you won't need to like type out all the tasks again. You can just simply create it by using the template feature. I hope that answered the question that you have. And if not, let us know in the chat just down below, and I will comb through the chat right now to see if there's a new question for us. So I see another question. What is the best way to use tags? I've been using them to identify different clients. So for example, in Quire, for our marketing team, for our users, we like to use tags for different categories or different platforms. So a lot of times we track our social media posts inside Quire, and then we will create tags for like Facebook, for one tag for Facebook, one tag for Twitter, one tag for what's the LinkedIn or anything else that we have. This is just one example. We use the tags to categorize our tasks inside our like massive project. And what is like more convenient for the tags when they are set up is that we basically like to use it to use the filter view that we have. So I'll go back to another example, is that you can find the filter bar at the top and use this filter bar to like use filter by tag, and then you can narrow down what you have inside Quire, inside your project. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, so another question that we have is, let me see. How do you hover to create dependency on a tablet? Okay, so for now, this is not available. You won't be able to create task dependency on the tablet for now. It's only available on the browser. And like I showed you earlier, you need to hover over the taskbar, and then there will be a connector icon, and then you can connect it to the other task. So when will it be available on the tablet? Okay, so I will need to pass this to our team, and if there's any update, we will make sure to let everybody know on Twitter or on our like pop-up announcement inside Quire. Okay, I see another question is, how would you recommend a consultant identify different clients? I would like to be able to organize projects by clients. I'm not quite sure about this question, so could you please explain more, and I will try my best to answer. Okay, another new question that we have is there direct support other than the tutorials? Okay, so we do have support, direct support, inside Quire. Actually, you can find the question mark. I will show you right now. It's at the very top right here, and you can use this message button to like ask us question, and our team will get back to you as soon as we see them. And we also have tutorials, like you mentioned, and we also have a detailed guide. So this will like include all the details, about all the features that we right now have inside Quire. And of course, you can reach out to us using the email feedback@quire.io. And we also have a feedback forum. So here you can visit the forum and you can see a lot of past questions that has been answered by the Quire team. And of course, you can submit your own questions to the feedback forum. Another question that we have is I created a project with 20 tasks and it was delayed a couple of months. How can I change the start date for each task without editing each task separately? So you can basically, there's two ways. You can do that by using the batch mode. Okay, so right now in this, for example, you can see that I have choose 3 tasks like this or even more, and then use the batch mode. There's a menu bar down at the bottom, and then you can change the date right here. So when I go ahead and click on this, it will apply all the start date to all the tasks that I have chosen. So this is one way to do it. And another way is going to the timeline view and then again to choose all the tasks that you have and then adjusting the taskbar on the timeline view by drag and dropping the taskbar. So for example, you can see right now I've chosen it and then I can drag it and then to adjust the time for adjust the dates for the tasks. Okay, so are there any other questions for us? I will do my best to answer them right now. If not, I will go ahead and share. Let me go back to the slide. Okay, so for the next part, we are excited to give you guys a sneak peek of what we are currently working on and what's will be coming next. So what we are working on right now is the task approval feature. This is almost ready, and I believe it will be rolled out in the next few days or in next week. So with this feature, actually the task assignees can quickly get feedback on their requests. So it will make the approval process much more smoother. So in the past, there is actually a way that we recommended to our users is to create different status for the approval process for their projects. But with this new feature, actually there will be buttons added to the Quire interface, the Quire workspace. So approvers will get notifications in their app or through their email and showing them like which tasks need their attention and allowing them to take action promptly. So this feature will be useful if you're working for like a design team or for marketing teams where like feedbacks and proofreading are very common. And you can also add, this is a new feature, you can also add like multiple approval categories for your project. And after, we will share like more details for this feature specifically when the approval feature is released next week. So we hope that this new feature will streamline your workflow, helping you like move from the initial requests to the finish line for your tasks much faster. Okay, so that actually concludes what I have prepared for today's webinar. We will save, now we will like have a quick Q&A session. And I will go through the chat again to see if everybody's question has been answered. So, okay, I see the question. I just created a new project and assigned team members to the project. Then I created tasks and the task did not inherited the members at the project level. Okay, so I will go pull up my Quire project again. Okay, so like I was saying, when you like add the team members to the project, all these assignees will, like all the task assignees will need to be assigned by yourself. So I know that maybe you added your team members here to the project right here. When you do that, the team members will only be added to the project. They will not be assigned to the tasks. So for the next step, when you want them to be assigned to the tasks, you need to go to your task list and open up the detail panel and then assign them right here. And for this list, these are all the project members that I have previously added. So now that our system will know that who needs to be assigned to which tasks. So to conclude, the team members will not be like automatically added to the tasks on its own. This is what I'm working with. Okay, so here, let me check the screenshot. Okay, so here, okay, you need to let me go back to my timeline view. Wait, the question is, okay, this is for the screenshot that you have shared. This is actually the iPad view. So there won't be a question mark in this view. Okay. You need to go into, if you want to ask a question on the iPad, you need to go to your account tab and then find the submit feedback button right there. For the question mark icon that I was mentioning, it will only appear in the browser and on the top. Right. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. Okay. So actually, we have prepared some questions that we get a lot from our users before, and I will like share them. I would like to share them with you to like give you more details. So we get a lot of questions, like for example, is there a way to see some of the details without going to the detail panel? Actually, you can do that by toggling on off the advanced mode. You can use the keyboard, the I key on your keyboard to do that. So this will become useful when you want to check like for any comments and for any attachments without going to the detail panel. And for another question that we get a lot from our users is that can my tasks in the main list view get auto added to the sublist? So this is actually what I was talking about. So if you have new tasks added to your main list view that follows the criteria for the predefined sublist, they will be added to the sublist automatically. And another question that we get a lot from our users is that can I group the board view with different options? So actually, you can shuffle your board view with different options. For example, for priority, for users, for team members, and for tags. So the default category for the status is on your board view is the status. You can shuffle it by different options. So it can give you like a different view for the board. And we also get a lot of questions about the detail panel. And a lot of times our users want to make it more minimal since for the detail panels, we've been adding a lot of features. So you can actually hide the options for the timer and for the task dependency if you don't want to see them in the detail panel. You can add it, you can toggle them off by clicking on the field details menu icon at the bottom in the detail panel. And then this was actually what I was talking about. What is the best way to reach out to Quire support team if you have any like further questions while you're using Quire? So actually there is a question mark icon at the top. You can message us your questions in the Quire workspace. And once our team sees it, we will get back to you immediately. Or again, you can send us any emails to feedback@quire.io. Okay, so again, there are some additional learning resources that we have. You can learn more on demand if you like prefer to learn by yourself. We have our feedback community and our tutorial pages and our blogs. And lastly, we have our YouTube channel where you can like go and see our previous webinars. We covered some basics on how you can get started with Quire and how you can collaborate with team members. And we have also shared some past new features in our past webinars. Okay, so this is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys for joining me. And if you can give us feedback for today's webinar, Vicky now will paste the survey link inside the chat. And if you have any other further questions, you can also reach out to us by email, feedback@quire.io. And you can also check out our pricing page if you have any questions regarding our pricing or reach out to us, our sales team, using the contact form that you can find on our pricing page. Okay, so thank you for joining us for today, and that's it for today. I will see you next time for our new webinar.